Stable Cascade is the latest version of generative AI for image creation coming from Stability AI. It uses an architecture known as the version architecture. I probably mispronounced that, and it's capable of producing really cool images. Now, when we take a slightly closer look at this particular model, we find that it has 3 stages, which is a little bit different from other models that are created by Stability AI. The first stage is stage C, and this produces a very small size image, very compressed image. Stage B enlarges, and stage A decodes the image. So we have a lot of stuff happening here inside of latent space. And stage A is, if you've used Stable Diffusion, stage A is equivalent to the variational autoencoder in Stable Diffusion. Now, if you don't know what any of that means, the main thing to bear in mind is 3 stages, beginning with stage C and ending with stage A. A little bit confusing, but that's the way it is. Now, in their testing, they found this new model, the Stable Cascade model, to be much preferred over the other models that they tested. Here, Stable Cascade is on the right hand, and you can see it's almost always preferred over the other models. SDXL is very good, but Stable Cascade does much better. And we can see just one instance where Stable Cascade actually underperforms to another model. Now, there's a heck of a lot that this particular model can do, as you can see with some of the items here. And we're going to be just scratching the surface. We're just going to be showing the basics of what this model can do, but you'll find out it is super powerful. Now, one of the ways that they test it, I think it's just as well, since this is geared towards beginners, I want to demonstrate how the testing is actually done. Here we have a test for this type of model. The prompt is the moon with a smiling face, and we're supposed to choose which of these images shows the moon with a smiling face. I personally don't think any of them look like the moon with a smiling face. Maybe this one gets close, but I'm going to choose none of them. And then it comes up with a new test and says an elephant in a tennis court. And here, I think this one looks like an elephant in a tennis court. So you can see I can go ahead and maybe choose most of these ones. This one looks awful. And this one just looks a little bit weird. I'm going to untick that one. I'm going to submit. This is the kind of testing which is done. Main thing to bear in mind is this is the prompt, and the image that's generated is shown here. It's generated almost automatically, but there are going to be specific parameters that are used by whoever designed the program here to output an image depending on certain criteria. We're going to be in charge of those parameters. Here, we don't have any real control over the parameters. That's the difference. In this video, we're going to be shown the real power of ComfyUI, the user interface that we're going to be using to allow us to have a huge amount of control over the model and its outputs. Now, one thing which may be a little bit surprising is, what is this model? And you can see here, this is the model page on Hugging Face. It consists of lots and lots of files. And I estimate maybe about 50 gigabytes of files, probably more than that. You're going to need quite a bit of space on your disk, on your fast SSD, in order to be able to use this comfortably. We're going to be downloading some of these, and I'm going to be showing you a couple of different ways maybe of downloading them. But you can come to this page here, the Stable Cascade page for Stability AI, and you can download the individual files if you want to. We're going to choose a slightly different way of doing it in this video, in this lecture, or in this course. And the way we're going to be doing it is going to be a little bit easier to manage. But I want you to be able to see the raw data, where it's found, so that if you do need to come here in future, you know where to find it. Now, one of the pieces of software I recommend is Git for Windows. This software allows us to communicate with GitHub, and GitHub is one of the web pages that we were looking at just now. Git for Windows just allows us a lot of power in communicating with Git and getting new updates and getting new software. It comes with the user interface we're going to be using. We're going to be using ComfyUI. ComfyUI does contain Git for Windows, but I like to install this anyway. So you might just want to come here and download this and install it for your Windows operation. If you don't, it should work fine. But I just like to have the Git for Windows installed separately from ComfyUI from Stable Diffusion. But like I say, the choice is yours. If you already have it installed, obviously you can ignore this. Now, once we've installed ComfyUI, we're going to install ComfyUI Manager, which is going to help us a lot. I'm going to show you a technique for installing this, which is going to be very useful in future if you need to install other extensions. ComfyUI is an extension. ComfyUI Manager is an extension to ComfyUI and is a really useful one. We'll also install ComfyUI Workspace Manager. This is a very new one and is also pretty useful as well. And we'll probably install this using a different method. I want to show you as many methods as possible so you can be independent when it comes to updating the plugins and the extensions and fixing any problems that occur in future when I'm not around to give you answers and ideas. And once everything is installed, we'll have a user interface that looks something like this. And we'll be able to get to using it to create images. Maybe I can load up one of the images I created before. So we'll show you how to operate all of this. It's pretty straightforward. And the main emphasis here is obviously going to be on getting you up and running, creating the kind of images that you want to use for whatever projects you're working on.